In the heart of the Middle East, where ancient lands meet modern conflicts, a small country has managed to survive against seemingly impossible odds. Israel, a nation smaller than New Jersey, has stood firm for over 7 decades, surrounded by hostile neighbors and facing threats from all sides. But behind this remarkable endurance lies a secret weapon, an organization shrouded in mystery and whispered about in hushed tones: Mossad. To understand the enigma that is Mossad, we must journey back to the tumultuous days of Israel's birth. On May 14, 1948, David Ben-Gurion, Israel's first prime minister, stood before a gathering in Tel Aviv and declared the establishment of the Jewish state. The ink on the declaration was barely dry when the armies of 5 Arab nations invaded, intent on crushing the fledgling state in its cradle. It was in this crucible of war and survival that Mossad was born on December 13, 1949. Barely a year after the guns of the War of Independence had fallen silent, Ben-Gurion signed a secret decree. With a stroke of his pen, he brought into existence the Institute for Intelligence and Special Operations, known to the world simply as Mossad. From its inception, Mossad operated in the shadows, gathering intelligence, conducting covert operations, and eliminating threats to Israel's security with a cold efficiency that would become its hallmark. As Issa Haro, one of Mossad's founding fathers and its longest-serving director, would later recall, "We were few against many, weak against strong. We had no choice but to excel, and excel they did." In 1960, Mossad pulled off one of the most audacious operations in the history of espionage. Adolf Eichmann, the Nazi architect of the Holocaust, had escaped justice and was living under an assumed name in Argentina. For 15 years, he had eluded capture, but Mossad had not forgotten. In a meticulously planned operation codenamed Finale, Mossad agents snatched Eichmann off the streets of Buenos Aires. The capture was a masterclass in espionage. Agents spent months in Argentina building cover identities and tracking Eichmann's movements. On May 11, 1960, as Eichmann walked home from his job at a Mercedes-Benz plant, a Mossad team sprang into action. They bundled him into a waiting car and spirited him away to a safe house. For days, they kept him hidden, even as Argentine authorities, alerted to his disappearance, searched the city. Then, in a move of breathtaking audacity, they smuggled Eichmann out of the country on an El Al flight disguised as an ill crew member. The success of Operation Finale sent shockwaves around the world. It demonstrated Mossad's reach and sent a clear message: no enemy of Israel was beyond their grasp. But capturing Nazi war criminals was just one facet of Mossad's operations. As the years passed, the agency found itself on the front lines of a new kind of war. The rise of Palestinian terrorism in the 1960s and 70s presented a new and deadly threat to Israeli citizens. On September 5, 1972, the world watched in horror as Palestinian terrorists from the Black September organization stormed the Olympic Village in Munich, taking 11 Israeli athletes hostage. The crisis ended in tragedy, with all the hostages killed in a botched rescue attempt. For Israel and for Mossad, it was a watershed moment. In the wake of the Munich massacre, Prime Minister Golda Meir gave Mossad a new mission. "Hit them wherever you can," she reportedly told the agency. And so began Operation Wrath of God, a years-long campaign of targeted assassinations against those responsible for the Munich attack. The operation was as complex as it was controversial. Mossad agents fanned out across Europe and the Middle East, hunting down members of Black September. In Lillehammer, Norway, they mistakenly killed an innocent Moroccan waiter, thinking he was Ali Hassan Salameh, one of the masterminds of the Munich attack. The error was a black mark on the operation, but it didn't stop Mossad from pursuing its targets. In 1979, nearly 7 years after Munich, Mossad finally caught up with Salameh in Beirut. A team of agents, posing as tourists, detonated a car bomb as Salameh's convoy passed, killing him instantly. The message was clear. Mossad's memory was long and its reach was global. But it wasn't just in the realm of counterterrorism that Mossad made its mark. As the Cold War raged, the agency played a crucial role in helping Jews escape from behind the Iron Curtain. In one of its most daring operations, Mossad helped smuggle thousands of Ethiopian Jews to Israel in a series of covert airlifts. The first of these, Operation Moses in 1984, saw Mossad agents working with the CIA and Sudanese state security to fly nearly 8,000 Ethiopian Jews from Sudan to Israel. The operation was shrouded in secrecy, with the refugees told they were being flown to Europe. It was only when they landed in Tel Aviv that they realized they had reached the promised land. As the years passed, Mossad's operations grew ever more complex and technologically advanced. In 1981, Israeli fighter jets destroyed Iraq's Osirak nuclear reactor, an operation made possible by Mossad's intelligence gathering. The agency had recruited an Iraqi nuclear scientist who provided crucial information about the reactor's defenses. But perhaps Mossad's greatest triumphs have come in its ongoing shadow war with Iran. As the Islamic Republic pursued its nuclear ambitions, Mossad worked tirelessly to slow its progress. In 2007, Mossad agents reportedly assassinated Ardeshi Hosseimpour, a top Iranian nuclear scientist, by poisoning his food. In 2010, Mossad, working in conjunction with American intelligence agencies, unleashed Stuxnet, a computer worm that wreaked havoc on Iran's nuclear centrifuges. The cyber attack, which some have called the world's first digital weapon, set Iran's nuclear program back by years. But Mossad wasn't done. In 2018, in an operation that seemed straight out of a Hollywood thriller, Mossad agents broke into a warehouse in Tehran and stole half a ton of top-secret Iranian nuclear archives. The documents, smuggled out of Iran that same night, provided unprecedented insight into Iran's nuclear program. As news of the heist broke, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu held a press conference to reveal the stolen documents. Iran lied, he declared, pointing to the evidence Mossad had obtained. The operation was a stunning demonstration of Mossad's capabilities, combining old-school espionage with cutting-edge technology. Yet for all its successes, Mossad's actions have often courted controversy. The use of forged passports in its operations has led to diplomatic spats with friendly nations. Its alleged involvement in assassinations, like that of Hamas operative Mahmoud Ahmabho in Dubai in 2010, has drawn international condemnation. Critics argue that Mossad's actions sometimes blur the line between national security and state-sponsored terrorism. The agency's unofficial motto, "By way of deception, thou shalt do war," has been seen by some as a troubling endorsement of any means to achieve its ends. But for Israel, a nation that has lived under constant threat since its inception, Mossad remains an essential shield. As former Mossad chief Tamir Pardo once said, "We are the long arm of the state of Israel, and we will reach anywhere we have to in order to fulfill our mission." In recent years, Mossad has had to adapt to a changing world. The rise of Islamic State, the ongoing Syrian civil war, and the ever-present threat of Iran have presented new challenges. But true to its nature, Mossad has evolved, embracing new technologies and tactics while maintaining its core mission. In 2021, Mossad once again made headlines with a series of high-profile operations against Iran's nuclear program. In April, An explosion at Iran's Natanz nuclear facility, widely attributed to Mossad, caused significant damage to the site's centrifuges. The operation demonstrated Mossad's ability to strike at the heart of its adversaries' most secure facilities, combining physical sabotage with cutting-edge cyber capabilities. Just months later, Iran's top nuclear scientist, Mohsen Fakhrizadeh, was assassinated in a sophisticated operation that reportedly involved a remote-controlled machine gun. The brazen daylight attack outside Tehran was a masterclass in planning and execution, showcasing Mossad's technological prowess and operational audacity. These operations highlight a key aspect of Mossad's modern strategy: the use of targeted, high-impact actions to achieve strategic goals. Rather than large-scale military interventions, Mossad has focused on precision strikes that can set back enemy capabilities by years.